Good evening, everybody. This is Professor Mani, welcoming you on behalf of the Bombay Management Association. Welcome to this special session, Friday Fundamentals EMDP, on the theme, which I broadly call branding. Mr. Sanjeev Kotnala, who is our specialist faculty for this MDP, has rich experience in the field of media and is a specialist in the field of advertising and branding. He has been very active delivering such sessions, sharing his ideas and inspiring people on this very, very important domain of how to brand yourself. His favorite line as part of many discussions we've had with him is either you plan to brand yourself or someone else will brand you. So you have a choice. And this is the interesting theme that Sanjeev is going to share with us through this Friday Fundamentals MDP. I'm happy to welcome a good mix of corporate participants. We also have invited the Faculty of Management Schools to celebrate the Teachers' Day month with all of you. As a teacher, I always felt that the best way to learn is to learn from each other. And that's something which Sanjeev has endorsed throughout his career. Not only is he a practicing manager, he's still very active in the teaching circuit. He's part of several MDPs organized by the IIMs and several organizations of repute. Sanjeev has this great desire to share, and that's what makes him a very, very special person to be with us this evening for the Friday Fundamentals EMDP. Thank you, Sanjeev, for accepting BMA's invitation, and may I hand over to you to begin the session. As usual, we have kept the audios on mute. As we progress, you can interact with Sanjeev on a one-to-one basis also. But for the initial 1 hour, when he makes his presentation, let's use the chat box to communicate with him. Over to you, Sanjeev.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Professor Mani, for this opportunity. And this is a subject which many of us do not give more credence to. We keep on seeing that our working way, our performance, our talent, our skill will make the success happen. But if you look at current situation in the market also, if there are two people who were fighting together and were being, and the company was looking at sending one of them off, the person who is properly branded with the organization is going to look better. So what I will do is I will take you through my presentation and we'll take, as Professor said, the questions toward the end. Okay, so I'm going to share this. So I talk about a concept of saying consciously self-branding yourself or get branded by default. And as a professor shared with you earlier, I'm basically an engineer, and then I'm a alumnus from 87, advertising, marketing, and now an independent brand and marketing consultant. And brand I, which I'm going to talk about today, is my favorite subject. That's what I usually mentor people about, is brand I. So I also believe more on depth rather than on width of discussion. So I will not be worried about if we do the complete presentation or not, but I will be more looking forward to the question answers so that whatever we are able to capture in this period, because anyway, this is a part from my workshop, which is a 2-day workshop normally. So I'm trying to incite your curiosity, your interest in that direction. So we'll do whatever we can do best. So we live in a branded world and nobody would object to that statement. Since morning to evening, we consume only branded products. From your mobile, which you pick up before you say good morning to your spouse normally. And the last thing that leaves your hand in the night is a branded product. Your washroom is full of branded, your food is branded, and that's the way we live in. Now, if you look at that kind of a thing, then what would stop us from branding people? We brand people very fast. And the subject brand I that I talk about is about you. And I normally say this is the most selfish session you are going to attend. Because who is the karta? You. Who is the decision maker? You. And who is the ultimate beneficiary? You. So brand I is about you, and it's different than talking about your achievement, talking about your successes. That's a brand promotion. Brand I promotion. I'm more interested in creating a brand I. So have we in life said he's a cadet physical instructor? That is a daring Romeo. That is a friendly neighbor. What we are doing on this is we are using these adjectives to people. In a way, we are branding people. Simply when I say Professor Mani is so cooperative, I brand him. Okay. When we say to a student that he is disciplined, we brand him. When I say to somebody that you are helping us out, we brand. Now, when I talk about, let's say for a corporate example, if a boss had about 4 or 5 juniors and he had an assignment to give, what happens? In his mind, a bell rings saying that he should give this assignment to person A, B, C, D, or E, though all of them are capable of delivering this assignment. How does that happen? It happens in corporate life day in and day out. Ask any senior. Or even if you have a thing to give it to somebody as an assignment and you believe everybody can do it, there will be one ghanti in your mind saying that this should be given to that person. Because that person in your mind, in the back of your mind, have been branded as the best person to do that work. How does that branding at all happen? And we have so many tags that we use for branding people, just like we brand article, or in SEQ, SEM, we put the tag words. We put tag words to people: trusted, competent, disciplined, troublemaker, traditional, progressive, innovator. A lot of tagging we do to people. And that's a reality. If we can tag people, people can tag us. So this is true for our personal life also. The best friend, we all have. The slimy friend, we all have. The Jani friend, we all have. Now, while I was talking about these names, I would think that in your mind, there would be some friend of yours who clinged as saying that this is a slimy friend of mine. This is a Jani friend of mine. This is the helpful friend of mine. Why? Out of all your friends, somebody cocked up in your mind, because that person in your mind through expectation and experiences of past have been branded as that kind of person. I know a friend whom I can depend upon. And I know a friend who will always have excuses why he can't help me. And when I talk of Gyani, these are all Gyani. All of these are Gyani. They deliver or they talk of the same final objective, but all of them we see in a different way. We believe or do not believe in this saying, their proposition is all because of our expectation, our filtered information that we have with us. So in the same category, we have things. And what happens when you get branded into an organization during your appraisals? If I'm pre-biased to you, your appraisal is always good. If I thought you were indisciplined, not on time, and whatever branded on that way, irrespective, whatever your support material appraisal is not going to be good. Human beings have biases. Very simple. Mentoring, evaluations, nomination for projects that you will be given, or trainees that you will be nominated, all depends upon the way you have been branded in that organization. If I recommend you to somebody, I do that because you are branded in that way in my mind. So this is my base premises. Success in life is not all about your skill and talent set, but a lot about how you get branded. This is the premises that I keep on pushing. And when I do it in the business institutes, which are very few, I say that this, if the student in first year are taken through this, their pre-placement should improve. Because when they do in their trainee, they do a particular way of self-branding, and results should happen that they should get replaced. And sometimes how you are branded could be a difference between your success and failure. With that premises, let's move forward. Why does branding happen? Why do we brand people? Because we have one lazy organ called brain, which is always interested just about finding patterns and linking up to the patterns. That's all the brain is wanting to do. Look at pattern and give me some slot in which I can put that observation. That's all your brain is interested in all the time, is to where it's like a library. It must tag experiences to put it behind them in saying where does they go. This is an anecdotal story in one of the leading IT company, not naming them. So there were two guys from the same college who joined on the company, and the candidate one who worked proactively by himself and finished all the projects on time. Whereas there was second who was at the same time seeks help, go to the what you call seniors, talk to them about how the work needs to be done, take their help. Now, in that process, what was happening, that he was getting branded as if he had the difficult of the project. He was transparent. He was team maker. He was team worker. You know, he was transparent. So when the appraisal came, do you know who got promoted? The person who was actually going to the seniors for repeated help, the person who was integrating with others, the person who was becoming a team member was the one who got promoted compared to the other person who was doing the same work without any supervision. Because he was doing it independently, whatever he got branded as egoistic, introvert, does not work with a team. So that was not the case. He was a capable person. So when we do our own branding, the thing is, everything that you do helps in your branding. And the problem is, mind is, in communication, we are only receiving and giving coded messages. And we use our own biases, our own filters in decoding the message. Unfortunately, we normally do not end up finishing the communication gap by telling the person again, did you mean that? Because that way life will be very tough. So our mind looks at them and finishes. Now these are like 4 pictures, and on your chat box, could you tell me whom would you call as the most naughtiest? Can you respond to that? Whom you will call as the most naughtiest person? Can you on chat box tell me of those people who is the most naughtiest person?
Sachin, your slide has gone off. Yeah, your slide.
Yeah, I was re-putting it back. Back.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you look at it, you see these are few people, and in that people, who would you will call as the person who is most naughtiest, who is most corrupt, who is most trusted. And what will happen in you is by our own mind. You know, we carry all the stereotype and generalization. Just by faces and without knowing them, we would be putting these tags to them. We have been doing that throughout our life. Yeah. So that's what happens is you end up by the way people dress. I know Malayalis are timid and Sardars fight and Gujaratis money-minded and Bengali are like that. So I tend to use those stereotypes because that makes my life easy till somebody does not tell me differently. I do all that because that's the way life is. So what we are doing while we are trying to put tag to people, in the normal sense, we are generalizing. We are deleting information and we are distorting information because we never finish the communication loop. And we don't go back to the person to confirm, but we start putting, because of our expectation and experiences, tags to those people. Because what happens when I try to brand somebody or I try to brand myself, I only control the way I send out messages. I do not control the way they are interpreted. And if I myself do the generalization, distorting and deleting of information, the same other person is going to do. If I'm the one who puts tags and brands people, I'm getting branded at the same time. So in real life, what end up happening, there's two parameters, the experience and the expectations. Okay. And these experiences of past or our understanding, our filters are the one which makes us put certain tag to people. Very simple. And if you are good, that I said earlier, then what do you think? People are busy, they're busy branding you. So at the end, when I say because of your experiences, brand I is the perception or the emotion maintained by somebody other than you. You are not the owner of brand I. You are only who is getting branded, and your brand I resides in the mind of other people. And that's the net result of the relationship, the experiences and expectation that that person has with you. Now the life becomes very tough because you cannot be managing brand I for every person. And that's why you will find that people at times live dual lives. At organization, they are a different person. And if you tell the family they have been like this, they said, oh, but he's a completely different person with us. You're a completely different person with friends. You may be a different person at. So what we do, we make the target groups, we segment at office, at society, at family, with friends. And when we try to be different kind of person to different kind of set of people, we get our mind to cross wire. One of the reasons of frustration, irritation with life is all about your non-clarity on your own self. And you wearing various masks when you interact with different people. So in that kind of a situation, we try to get into creation of a brand I or understanding of brand I in such a way that there is a lot more commonality between the way you are branded by your team, by your seniors, at home, within the society. So if you can have a very linear, predominantly consistent approach to life and behavior at all places, your degree of irritation, frustration, confusion will keep on decreasing in your mind. And that's what one of the benefit of brand I comes. Because unfortunately, you try or not, unconsciously or consciously, you want to work on your brand I or not, you are being branded. Because every action, inaction, and reaction, proactive or otherwise, is sending messages. The way I deliver this talk is sending a message, and you will brand me as a good faculty, bad faculty, time waste, or interesting. Okay. The emails that you write, the phone calls that you took, the project timing that you submitted in, the way you drafted something, In the airport, the kind of books you see are seen as reading. Your smile, your dresses, everything is a message and branding. So one thing is you keep on doing what you're doing and keep on getting branded by default, or you take charge. You take charge of the occasion, you take charge of your life in a way, and you decide to start branding yourself properly. Because one thing is true, if you do not brand yourself, somebody else will. Period. You cannot avoid. So if you cannot avoid default branding, and if you could be wrongly branded, why not take charge and do the branding? Like these are 4 different pictures of me. I use them in different kind of places. Or when you would have read about me doing this workshop, there would be certain expectation built up. Now, if there's a gap between expectation and experience, brand I will go for a toss. So this is culturally different pictures being used at different places because each one of them speaks a different language. Each one of them gives you a different kind of indication what you could expect from here. So brand I is actually about giving consistent experiences for consistent branding. Okay. This we have talked about thing. So we have also said, and this is a wonderful quote that I firmly believe in, and most of my presentation somewhere it comes in. So if you want to go anywhere, every road will take you there. So when you're wanting to do the brand I, you need to know what kind of brand you want to be. That's the first. And then you need to know what kind of a brand you already are. So normally we do a longish workshop, and we also do independent consultancy for people on brand I. Now let me take you through a small snippet of that process. So what is my desired brand I becomes a question. The first question is, why do you want to brand yourself? What is the purpose? What is the objective for which you are wanting to brand yourself? So let's say I'm in a corporate environment and I'm one of the same ranker in, let's say, a junior person. So my purpose may be that next time in evaluation, I must be the one of the 3 who are promoted. I may have a purpose in saying that I'm a professor in an institute. So at the end of the year, if there is a student pooling on most effective professor, I must get that. Okay. Now, brand I, please understand, brand I is not functional as much as perceptual. It's at the end of the day, it's perception. So once you have a objective, you will also have the shareholder. In whose mind do you want to be that brand? Is that the senior most management, immediate boss, my colleague, maybe my son or my daughter? So those are your stakeholder, and we also call them the target group for that purpose. And then you need to know what is the current status. Because if I was to decide to go from Mahim somewhere, or I want to go to Churchgate, I don't know where I'm standing. I can't do much about it. I have to have the start position, and I must have a desired result in my mind. And as every plan, I should be able to say that within this time frame, this should happen. Now, brand I may sound very good on that, but then what is the media vehicle available for you to brand yourself? And we'll come to those spaces. So let's say your current brand. What happened? How do you know what is your current brand? So maybe you will have some thoughts in your mind, and few of you may be very conversant with the brand architecture model. So use that brand architecture model and decide what is your area that you operate in currently. Or, and many of us who are not conversant with brand I, we decide to do the feedback loop. So what is feedback loop? So let's say I find out my best friend, my boss, my family members, whom I think they really know me. And I ask them to tell about me, how they feel. I ask them to use 3 or 5 adjectives to define me. Okay. And I also meet few people whom I'm not regular with. So while I was doing this exercise for myself, other than my family members, I met my ex-bosses. I took the dean of MICA into that subset. And I asked them question in saying, use 5 adjectives to tell me how do I come across. And then I looked at, please be cautious that many people use different words to mean the same thing. So you must ask them the adjective and then what do they mean by that, so that you are able to compare them. And when you are able to compare them, you will have a set of 10, 12 people talking about you. And from 10, 12, please take out what are the basics. It may not agree with what you think about yourself. If it matches what you think about self, pat yourself. But otherwise, very simply, look at the dominant ways those adjectives are coming. So if most of the people are talking to you about proactive, then take it for granted that you are doing something proactively and people do value that. There should also be some time that you will get a polarity of messages. So my office says I'm disciplined and my family says indisciplined. So you realize there's a difference in the mask that you're wearing at 2 places. Your behavior pattern are different at those 2 places. So you will also get certain gaps and certain overlaps when you do this kind of a feeding exercise, which will give you the base. For example, when I did all this, this is the kind of thing that I got. Various different people. And there are some commonality, there are some, so overall talking to about 9, 10 people, instead of 9, if they were all congruent to each other, I got about 18 different setups. So you can look, and there's nothing like saying that these are the people. Look at a set of people who know you very well and look at a set of people who you are not that regular interaction. Ask the guard in your building to say what kind of person you come across. Ask the grocery shop. And then you will know what's happening over there. Or this is a favorite exercise that we end up doing at time to time is, if I was a t-shirt, what kind of a t-shirt I was. This is for yourself. So what we do, there is multiple kind of t-shirts that are possible and far more t-shirts that may be available from here. So what we do is you take one thing to define. So if I have a full sleeve t-shirt, I don't want to show every of my card. If you have a blank t-shirt, I'm an open book. So you take those figures and you come out and you draw it out about yourself. So in the starting point, you will have what you believe you are, and you will have what people are telling you you are. This is a rich base information that you collect from here. And then you move forward on that. Because what we are going to do, we are going to get a feedback. We are going to change some experiences, not change something, do something more, something less, give separate kind of experience to people, get a feedback and do course correction. So this is a continuous loop of your brand I exercise that I end up doing about once in a year. That's good enough a figure if you are really consciously working in your brand I. And sometimes some people do not have anything to change. And like brand eye is the result of all the experience that you give to a person, you are also the end result of all the experiences and the expectations collectively. This is again a kind of choices that I had in my life, and I kept on taking the choices to where I am. Because choices in life exist, and you can't blame on any of those choices not being having made by you. Those choices you are making today. If you made a choice to attend this webinar, that's a choice or option that you have. Okay, so you are the end result of your choices and the decision that you make, because alternative exists at every time. To help or not help something, to work on a project, not work on project, to give it on time, not given a time, to do a dedicated work versus do a superficial work. Everything is a message, and a message is a result of the decision that you're taking about your life. So my request to everybody is, if everything that you do is in fact as a signal or a message eye that works in your brand eye, give yourself a fraction of a time to think about what you're doing and take a decision. Decision is not a problem. So frankly, we are the result of expectation and experience and decision and choice. Very simply, if we go deeper into that, the I remains the coach, but your environment has made you what you are today. Unfortunately, in this country, our childhood has made more have been about can't, should not, won't kind of upbringing, and that reflects many times in our thinking of a problem first rather than solution. But I keep on telling, at least to other people, that to the next generation, if they can talk about this should and how it could, I think we will contribute something. But that's aside to this subject as of now. And your choices and the decisions that you make are defined by the state you are in, about the back experience that you have, about the current situation knowledge that you have, and the future that you look at. All of your decisions are a result of this in your personal and professional life. And hence you must take that iota of time more in deciding so that your brand eye is very conducive. Because this experience expectation are continuous, and your brain always is trying to work with the past learning. And if your brain is working like that, somebody else's brain is equally working in the same pattern. Okay. So once you know that what is your current status of brand, the second question that you have is, what is your destination? What kind of a brand eye do you want to own overall? Is there something that is already into your mind that you will look at? What should be people thinking about you five years from now? Do we really look at that? Do we only work on the projects and the brands and the services that we brand about? Do we only work for the colleges and look at the branding of college? Do we look at the branding of ourselves? What kind of a person I should be looking at? So when you look at a desire, you look at with the target group, and you look at from the point of view of the objective that you had. Like for example, when I look at my own positioning, and it's very simple, the positioning statement come as good as I would have written for a soap or a oil somewhere. I said, I'm an independent consultant, better than other at creating co-created solutions. So I talk about a niche of mine over there for the market and brand opportunity faced by a client. As I closely work with their team, and I say, how different? I closely work with the team and transfer the know-how. I am one of those non-natural consultant who believe that my client should not take me for the same kind of project second time. When I co-create the solution with their team should now know how to work again. So I go with that as a premises. Not that my one project should lead me to another project. I believe in the word of mouth of my brand, I will go to the other clients as a recommendation, and I will be able to do more. So I'm saying, can you today sit down and write to yourself in saying, what am I offering here? What am I adding to the party? What is the differential? Why should people look at me at that way that I want? What is the gap between today, my current brand I, and the future brand I that I propose? And in this process, your brand I suffers from two big gaps. These are the two big gaps that you should be only worried about until you're doing an in-depth branding exercise for yourself. The first gap is what you claim to be versus how you behave. So I claim to be very punctual, and most of the meeting I come late. So there's no way I can blame others in putting a non-punctual tag to me. I am crystal clear in my communication, but my emails are all garbled. It doesn't make sense for you. I am a straight talker and I talk very iterative. Now this is a gap. What I claim versus how I behave. This is a big part of gap that happens. And second gap that comes out is how you think you perform versus how people see you perform. We are very individually biased. For us, our own benchmarks are slightly lower than expectations. And every person in corporate life believes that is a God gift to that industry. I am the best person. I am the most innovative person in this team. I am the biggest strategist. And I do two mistakes. In a brainstorm session, I don't open my mouth. I always fear about searching or sharing some ideas. So not only I create a gap on how I think I perform versus how people see me, I also create the other gap on saying how I claim, what I claim, and how do I behave. Because whenever we work in any relationship, platonic or otherwise, there are expectations. There is no relationship, personal, professional, friendly, social, which is without expectation. And then happens the experience. So let me borrow from the 2x2 matrix and look over here. So if the expectation is high and the experience is good, you are in the wonderful zone. And if your expectation is high and the experience is poor, that's the problem area. It is still okay to have a lower expectation and lower experience. Because then the person says, "Isse to itni asha thi. I was expecting that much only from him." So till the time your experience and your expectation match, life becomes okay. When the experience becomes far better than the expectation, you are giving yourself a positive brand I theta. Otherwise, the worst zone to be have is expectation I, experience low, or that's the red area for me. So remember, whatever target the boss will give, it will always to be said non-achievable. Sir, itna nahi ho sakta. Salesman is always trying to lower down the boss's expectation of delivery, so that when he achieves at the end of the month, the experience is better. Now look at another salesman who says, sir हो जाएगा, कर देंगे sir, झंडे गाड़ देंगे market में. Boss is happy in that meeting, but toward the end of the month, the experience is deteriorating. And soon you get branded on overclaimer, impractical, too much optimist. And whereas the first salesman is being talked practical, pragmatic, honest, transparent, team worker, thinker. I'm not saying that every time you work on that, but I'm just giving an example and saying that what happens. You know, if a kid is getting 90 marks and he gets 95, dad says, "If 5 number kahan gaye beta?" And if he's getting 57 and he gets 63, dad says, "Wow, beta, kya maza aa gaya aaj." So I'm not at all promoting lower expectation. I'm promoting how do you manage your brand eye. So you may be very good. Talk about said ho jayega, no issue. You know. So look at your grid. Where are you in expectation and experience parlance, and that's what should work for you. Normally in workshop we do it one-to-one because every person's life is different. If the twins in the same house going to the same school, playing the same games, do not have the similar attitude in life, they do not have the same brand eye. A group cannot. Group can only talk theoretical. But when you do one-to-one, you go to the history, you go to the background, and then you try designing. Because we have just talked about two things. One is start and the end. It's not a magic wand. In between are actionable things. So first of all, when you have determined your brand eye, you may not agree with what people are telling you about. But I will give more credence to people telling me what kind of a person I am versus me telling me what is my brand eye. And once I've desired, I will find the gap. And I will find out what I need to do to make people think of me in that direction. And this is where the actionables come into place. That what I must do in which time, what kind of experience now I must give this target group, so that in this time period, they will start having a perception about me, which is my desired perception. That's the actionable. And when you get multiple things to work on, don't worry, prioritize and only work on P1, P2, P3 max. Balance others will have some of their elements already ironed out. Don't try to do too many things of brand eye at the same time, because what will happen, you will confuse people. That happens in love marriage. When wooing finishes and you are married and your guards go down, you start listening only things about tum aise nahi the, tum to badal gaye ho. Why did that happen? Because the guards are down, you're changed totally. Too many things are happening. So take your priority. And what is the way of doing priority? If you have 10 things, put down 10 things and look at an army way of prioritizing. All are selected. Let's see who need to be rejected. So if you have 10 priorities, say which one I should not do right now, which is not the priority, and you keep on rejecting till 3 are left, and you work on them as an actionable point. The other thing is, there might be something that is told and a part of your desired brand eye, but may not be important to you. Because there is one thing to have a brand eye and there is one thing to have a self-image, self-esteem. Your picture of self is equally important to you. So you must know expectation from yourself, expectation from organization. And one of the biggest failures that new joinees have is they just do work. They don't know for what is the organization expectations from them. And culturally, are those expectations valid? How are you impacted from inaction and action? So that becomes your actionable things that you will give as a experience to people. Let's look at, and I keep on talking to people. Social media actionable are there. Check your profiles. Are they complete on your LinkedIn? Or are there gaps? Have you properly put the kind of a tag or a title that comes in? Have you got your endorsement? Or the recommendation column is blank? Are you in the right groups? Do you post there? Because one of the joke about social media is it's not like having a post box outside and the letters will start coming. You have to be interactive, and that's why they are called social media. So which groups do you join? What do you post? What do you comment? Now, I want to be expert in some field, to be seen as an expert in this field. Then join the groups and talk over there, comment over there, write properly, be seen as a person who can talk about those subjects, and maybe you will be talked about that. Maybe write a book on that subject to be seen as an expert. That's your choice. Because there could be N ways for you to start looking as an expert. If you want that, first of all, if you want that. Be conscious of the post that you react, comment. And social media, please understand, you want to do every kind of thing in a group called Facebook. Don't officially open it to office people. And if you open it, then don't allow the two masks to filter. You know, at the office, I'm supposed to be very, very serious, but my Facebook post gives me a totally different impression. Net result, no impression, or a confused perception. So you must know why, when you are working in a brand eye, your everything is now evaluated and conscious working. I'm not saying you stop playing Facebook. Go ahead, but do consciously what you should be doing in the Facebook. Attend, talk. Now, this is one clear advice to people who are much junior in age, in saying become an expert. Very simple. You want to be seen, become an expert on something, take that thing and search on Google and read just 3 articles on that subject every day. Write your thought before writing your comments on. Just don't type on comments on LinkedIn just like this. Write it separately, proofread, check it. Write your sentence, see the communication is clear or not. Then in LinkedIn, post a very, very solid, concretized comment. In Facebook, please go ahead and type directly. That medium allows you the liberty. LinkedIn doesn't. Write an article on the subject. Write a book on it. Get a speaking, writing opportunity and be passed to the industry associations. Now, it's not that everybody can be at the industry association, but they can always try about what they should achieve by doing it. Now, look at appearances. Consistent forward trademark tricks. You see them in the similar kind of attire almost always. And if the brands and products have brand packaging as a signal item, you are your product. Your brand can also have a similar packaging. Now, I've used this kind of a thing very well. I also wear a kind of a jacket. But someday in a conference where I do not know many people, I wear the most obnoxious color, a red color shirt. Normally, I will with a lone red color shirt. In that unknown set of pieces, I am immediately standing out. And anybody can point me out. It's easy